Okay.
Coach, is there an update on Cam? How's he doing? How's he holding through the setback?
Yeah, I'd say with all the guys that aren't there, they're all making progress, and when they can be out there, they'll be out there.
The MRI was optimistic then?
Yeah, everybody that is not practicing today is getting better. So we'll see where we're at each day. Everybody's day by day.
Anybody who will practice today that didn't on Saturday?
No, I think it's about status quo. Yeah.
Who's not going to be out there?
Most of the guys that weren't on Saturday.
Slade included?
Slade will be doing some stuff on the side. So he's getting better, but he'll do some stuff on the side along with Bo, receiver-wise.
Andrew Thomas, is he going to do ramp up this week at all?
He'll just keep working his rehab and continue to get better.
How does the focus change this week with a game week on the end of this week?
Yeah, right now we're focused on us and getting better at the things we need to get better at, and we'll continue to do that here for the next few days.
For someone like Bo, who had been making strides as a young guy, now he's kind of on the shelf. How hurtful is that for a rookie trying to, make his?
Yeah, anytime you can't be out there, it doesn't help you. But if they can't be out there, then they'll do everything they can do to get out there. You got to take advantage of the meeting time, but there's no substitute for being out on the field playing, particularly young players that are trying to earn a spot.
You sprinkled in some young guys with the first team that hadn't been out there, like Fortune and Page and D. Williams. What was just the thought process behind that?
Yeah, I think that guys that are doing good work and making plays, Montreal, I would include him in there. They're going to get more opportunity they make plays, they're going to get more opportunity to show what they can do. There's guys that are doing a nice job, and that's this time of year you're shuffling guys around and seeing them versus different players and competition, but maybe some guys that aren't getting as many reps with the early guys that are showing up earn the right to get more.
Coach, you spoke about Cam, but the rest of the guys in the backfield, what strides, just looking forward, do you want to see Tyrone and Devin make in their second year in your offense?
Well, Motor's been in my offense for a long time, so he's a vet that's having a really good camp. Kept his head down, and Tracy has made strides. From what he's played last year as a rookie, there's usually a big jump from year one to year two. Time will tell when we're on the field and games count, but his preparation habits, his professionalism, understanding what he needs to do out there, blitz pickup, run reads, route technique, he's improved.
What are the best things that Van Roten brings to O-line, and is he back today?
He is back. Wife and him had another baby girl, Anna, so congratulate the Van Roten family. But he'll be back. He's a veteran that's played this game for a long time, that's smart, that communicates well, that both guys on either side of him have a lot of confidence in because of his intelligence and his instincts and his ability to communicate when things happen quickly. Was a good addition for us last year. That's why we brought him back, and has shown good leadership throughout camp and throughout the offseason.
There's a lot of new faces on the defensive line. What have you seen from that unit, particularly at Golston?
I'd say all those guys are in good competition. Golston's a guy we brought here that has some flexibility to play inside, play outside, pass rush downs. He's done that for us. He's brought something to the room too as well with the other two veteran outside linebackers we have. It'll be a good competition for the interior part of the line. Roy Robertson has come; he's been a true pro, but guys like Nacho and Dex and Chapman that have still been here. It'll be good competition.
Ryan, we ask you almost more about your backup quarterback than we do about your starting quarterback. I was wondering how you would describe the camp that Russell's having.
I'm glad Russ is here for a number of reasons. He's provided leadership to our football team in various ways, not just in the quarterback room, but meeting extra with the entire offense, how he communicates with defensive players, the experience that he's had throughout his career. And he's been productive and made good decisions at that position here in our offense. He understands it. I think he's performed at a high level. We need him to continue to do that.
Dave, you talked a lot about adding toughness to the roster, but along with that, you seem to have added a lot of guys with what you might call personality or swag or attitude. Does one go with the other, or was that intentional as well?
Well, we look for good football players first and foremost, and I'd say we place a high premium on toughness, both physical and mental. Something we talked a lot about in the off season. I think we've added that. In terms of the swag, I think everybody, you got your own swag, Ed. Those guys got their swag. I think you can probably everybody define swag a little bit differently here. But I do like the pieces that we've added, their personalities, but I like their instincts as football players, competitiveness, and their overall toughness.
Right.
Go back
Smith
to-
Marset said he wanted to get more involved in the offense. This season, obviously, he was a special teams contributor last year. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, he's making strides. He's in a competitive situation. His primary role is a returner, but he's got a number of reps out there, and he's competing with a lot of other guys that are trying to earn a spot. But he's a guy that plays inside. He's learning some how to play outside. His primary role is a returner, but we have some competitive guys here in the return game well. So each day he comes out with a good attitude, and tries to make the most of every opportunity he has.
To go back to Russell Wilson.
I'm sorry.
To go back to Russ and the impact
Sure.
he's had on his teammates, just meetings and all that time. How have you seen that with Malik, just coming back after his rookie year, but that relationship specifically?
I think he's had a very positive impact on Malik. They have a good relationship. They spend a lot of time in the meeting room, and then they spend time outside, just in terms of body maintenance, how Russ takes care of his body, the things he's done to have a long career. Malik's kind of grabbed hold of that, asks a lot of questions. He's very involved. I'm talking about Malik in the meetings, communicative. I know you see a lot of the plays that he makes out on the field, but the thing I'm most proud of is the growth he's made as an individual in the meeting rooms, outside the building, and I think Russ has a big impact on that as well. He's one of our best players in terms of Malik, and I think he's made strides from year one to year two in a lot of areas, and I'm very proud of how he's approached really the whole off season and then into training camp. But I do think that the relationship he has with Russ has been impactful.
How different does the offense look to you schematically with Russ? I know, like you it's a lot of the same plays, but you cater stuff towards quarterback skills and abilities. When you look at it as a whole, is it?
Yeah, we're still working through that, Jordan. So Russ has done everything we've asked him to do. I think he's done it at a high level in practice, but we're still working through all those things, and we'll continue to work through them. Beginning of the season will be important. I think you evolve as the season goes on, and we're trying to do that in training camp and execute well, consistently, day in and day out. It's been good competitive practices, and we'll just keep at it.
Do you intend to get your starters into this first game, or would you rather handle it the way you have the last couple of years?
Yeah, that's something in the next few days, Pat, we'll talk about as coaching staff, and we'll do whatever we think is best for the team. But right now, these first few days are going to be about the Giants, and we'll have a plan here. I wouldn't say necessarily tonight or tomorrow. We'll end up letting these guys go, and then we'll do what we think is best for the team. Could they play? Yeah, they sure could play.
Brian, I'm curious about you, Sal. Obviously, you have
Who's up?
Darius.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have two guys who played a lot in Micah and Bobby
Mhm.
at those spots, but he came in here as a guy who was special teams, and it seemed like he contributed more and more on defense. What do you see from him going to year two?
I see improvement in communication. I think he's a very instinctive player. He earned playing time too. I mean, there's always sometimes that young guys play, but he's earned playing time because of his performance. And he's another guy that kind of put him and Drew Phillips in the category of taking a good step from year one to year two. I know we talked about Malik, but Malik was pretty successful year one, where they've grown into their roles, communication, production out on the field, not making a lot of mistakes. If they do, they come back and they fix it. So Darius is right in the mix here. I think he's a good football player for us, and he's he'll have every opportunity to compete and to play. He'll play.
Coach, how would you describe the overall camaraderie of the group, and how important is that?
Yeah, the chemistry is very important for a team. I think the guys have good relationships. They work well with one another on a practice field. They compete and they get after it. I think they have a lot of respect for one another on all three sides of the football. They they do things outside the building. They stay here late with one another. But, you know, the true test for chemistry and camaraderie is all that is when you hit some tough times, and how you can respond, whether that's in a series, whether that's a play, whether that's after a loss, being able to regroup and kind of reload and get our minds right back to where they need to be. So I like the personalities of our guys that Ed mentioned about, but you know, we're still working through that. But it's been fun to be around them. They're a group that loves football. We got a lot of guys that love the game of football and that practice hard, practice the right way. But again, you know, it's training camp right now, so there's a lot of talking and things like that. We got to go out there and we got to do it.